At this point, I believe pastors and prophetess need to be regulated by government authorities and done fast, because the kind of actions prophets and pastors nowadays carry out is just unbelievable. So this woman goes by the name Sylvia. She's a prophetess and is pretty well known in her community for her preachings and also her miracles. She's married to this man called George, who happens to be a retired banker. Together with him, they have 4 boys and they all live together in this particular house. And everything seemed to be going well for them. Now you see, George had some brothers who also reside in that same Zambia. Once in a while, they'll check up on each other, probably once in a month. However, along the line, whenever George's siblings tried reaching out to George, they discovered that they were unable to. If they call his phone, it is either his wife Sylvia or kids that would pick up the call, and then they would say he's not around. Now at first, George's siblings didn't really take it too serious. I mean, if his wife and kids said he's not around, then he's definitely not around. But when they began suspecting that something fishy was going on was when they kept on giving the not around excuse for a whole year and some months. That is, whenever they call, they still get the same excuse that George is not around, he went to work, he went out, blah blah blah. When George's siblings were tired of this lie, one of them sent his son to go to George's house early in the morning and check for him. Now when the son got there, he tried entering the house, but George's children, along with his wife Sylvia, prevented him from entering. Son then told his dad the situation on ground, who then told him to go to the police station and report the case there. Now after reporting the case to the police obtained a warrant and then went to George's house around the afternoon time on that same day. On getting to the house, George's kids and wife Sylvia still refused to open the door, and this left the police with no other option than to break in. Now after breaking into the house, the police noticed that one of the rooms inside that house was locked. That is, the door was locked. And so they told them again, open up this door, we want to see what's behind it, but they still refused. And then the police broke into that particular door, and when they entered that door, they saw something they weren't expecting to see. A clean, maintained, odorless, neat skeleton was what the police found inside that locked room. The police then questioned Silva on whose corpse was that, and that was when she confessed that it was her husband George. Apparently, this whole time, George has been dead. The police further asked Sylvia the big question: who killed George and why is his corpse in the room instead of 6 feet on the ground? Sylvia then responded to them saying that George died from asthma, and that after his death she met with a Tanzanian ritualist who promised to give her powers to perform miracles in her church, and that the condition given to her was that she must preserve her husband's corpse inside that room, and that's what she has been doing all this time. All the miracles and healings that she has been performing this whole time in her church was as a result of her ritual powers gotten from preserving her husband's corpse. So after all this came to light, the police arrested her, and allegedly they also arrested her children, the 4 of them. Some of their neighbors found this whole thing hard for them to believe, because they explained that Sylvia was like one of the most prayerful person they've ever met in their lives. She was literally praying most of the time she was at home, and they would never have guessed that something like this was going on this whole time inside that house. And who knows, maybe her husband George didn't even die from any asthma issue or asthma attack as she claimed. There's a high chance that she herself ended her husband's life so she can acquire these ritual powers for her church. Follow me for more crazy stories. I'm Caleb and I've uncovered this case.